Peter, thank you so much for joining us here today. So talk to us about CanAlaska Uranium. You've just had a discovery. Tell us about it.
Well, we've got a partner, Cameco Corporation. Cameco is earning a 60% interest in one of our projects. They're spending $12.5 million.
Okay.
And in late September, we were able to tell the market that they'd made a new discovery just 10 miles away from their big uranium mine at McArthur River. And last week, they started drilling again on that discovery. So the next 90 days will be exciting. CanAlaska's been involved in the Athabasca now for 14 years, and we've had a number of major partners. Mitsubishi Corporation had that particular project beforehand, and we've had a lot of help from our Korean partners, Korean Electric Power and Korean Resources Corporation. I see the markets moving, and to have a new discovery and a lot of work going on at the same time is good for our company.
And a major partner like Cameco.
Well, I believe that you need Cameco to help you get where you want to get, and it was a strategic deal that we did with them at the time. We will end up with 40% of this project by the time they've finished drilling this target, and I think that puts us in a good position to negotiate something ongoing.
So we're hearing a lot about uranium lately. Maybe a bull market? That even could be a term that has been thrown around. What's the sentiment that you're seeing from investors for uranium?
Well, I see a lot of people now wanting to get into the exploration companies. The producers have been having a hard time because the prices have been low. We've seen cuts, though, come from Kazakhstan and now cuts in Canada, which are going to take a lot of uranium off the market. The end users have a certain number of reactors that they've got to fill with uranium every day, and they haven't been getting the stockpiles that they normally have. Prices have been down, and they've been keeping them down by just not dragging that demand up. With the supply going off the market, I can see prices moving higher in the short term, next 2 or 3 months. But if speculators get into there, I think they can drive those prices from the current $24 a pound to well where it should be in the $50, $60, $70 a pound, which is really the marginal cost of production of uranium. It hit $140 a pound back in 2007-8. But I think we'll see something more modest this time. Things will get moving, and when we look at the number of nuclear reactors being built, we need twice as much uranium as we currently produce. Where's it going to come from? It will have to come from new discoveries. This new discovery that Cameco's got on our ground is very good for us.
Well, Peter, let's talk about the team behind CanAlaska. Specifically your chairman. I understand he's just written a book that talks about the need for nuclear power. Can you give us a bit of introduction there?
Well, Ambassador Thomas Graham did all the strategic arms deals with the Russians between 1969 and 1997. He's the chairman of our company. And with Scott Montgomery from the University of Western Washington, he's written this book called Seeing the Light, The Case for Nuclear Power in the 21st Century. It has a huge amount of information in it, but it's right up to date. It's right up till September 2017. It goes from Madame Curie to Mr. Trump.
Okay.
But it points out a lot of the things that happened in the world. You know, we had a choice of 250 different types of nuclear reactors, and only 2 were chosen. It talks about the 14,000 people who died in London from the Great Smog in 1952 because they had coal-fired power stations in the middle of London. They got rid of them just like the Chinese and the Indians are getting rid of coal-fired power stations, and the Saudis are getting rid of burning oil so that we can have a cleaner substitute of nuclear power.
Wonderful. Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining us here today.
All right, excellent. And CanAlaska, CanAlaska.com or CVV.V on the Toronto Exchange.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks.